Alright, I am going to be summarizing the Nova Now documentary concerning time and how time is an illusion. So it just talks about like our concept of time and how time and what time is in physics. And it starts out with saying how Newton came up with the idea how time is constant and unchanging for everything everywhere in the universe. Like a fundamental law of the universe is that time is always the same everywhere no matter what. And Einstein believed this not to be the case. He believed time to be relative to each thing, like everything experiences time differently. And so Einstein came up with the idea of space-time, how the fabric of our universe, rather than it just being like space, it's space and time. Because space and time are like the same thing. The fabric of the universe is space-time. It's four-dimensional space-time, and time is simply just like another direction in space. Like three-dimensional, have like forward, backwards, up, down, left, right, and so on. And then time is just like another direction. And because of this, it makes it so time isn't always constant. Like, for example, it says how, like, since time is just like another direction, um, imagine like you're moving north and you're just moving north, but then if you move northwest, you're no longer moving north as quickly because you're diverting some of your direction of movement to the west. So you're moving north much more slowly, and the same thing with time. Like if you're standing still, you're not actually standing still according to Einstein's theory of space-time. You're still moving. You're moving in the direction of time. So it's like if I'm just standing still, I'm fully moving in the direction of time. So I'm moving as fast as possible in the direction of time. So I'm diverting my movement through space-time in the other direction. But then if you were to move, you then divert some of that direction of movement from the direction of time to your direction of movement you're walking. And as a result, if to an outside observer your time runs much more slowly than times around other people, like to yourself your time is running normally, but to an observer you're moving more slowly. Like if it was greatly exaggerated, you would be moving more slowly. So then it leads to the idea like time. That's one reason why time isn't consistent or constant everywhere, because time is affected. How fast time moves, is affected by the other directions of movement, because space and time are one and the same thing. It's four-dimensional. Time is just another direction in space-time. So time just isn't constant anywhere. It makes it so like what you consider to be happening now could actually be the past of something like far away in the other edge of the universe. It's kind of like complicated, but yeah, just time isn't constant at all. That's why time is an illusion, because then if our now is the past of like someone else's now, somewhere farther other universe, that means in theory that means the past, present, and future are all existing at the same, like they're all existing. The past isn't just gone, the future doesn't exist yet, they're all just happening. And so then time is an illusion, basically. And another thing that affects time isn't just movement, but it also is gravity. Like how if you're around a black hole, your time runs much more slowly than an outside observer. There's that. And so because time is no longer constant, doesn't just flow in one direction constantly, it's an illusion. And so then the documentary then talks about, so then why do we experience time this way? Why is time just always moving forward? And they relate that to another scientific theory, where it's just like order always leads to disorder. If something starts in an orderly state, it is always going to go to disorder. So it says, okay, maybe the reason why we experience time moving forward is because it's moving to a state of order to a state of disorder. So like the Big Bang was the most orderly event in the universe. It was very orderly, everything was compacted, then when it exploded, ever since then everything has been just moving to a more and more disordered state. And that's why time fears to move forward, because it's moving from an ordered state to a disordered state, and so on. So yeah, basically that's what the document talked about. That our time experience of time is an illusion, and just time isn't always constant. It's just this kind of amorphous thing.